Hi everyone, welcome back to Have a Beer with Eric. This is review number 14, and today we have Modern Times' Super Compiler. This is a rosé-inspired IPA. It is 7.5% alcohol, and it has a Citra and Huel melon hops, along with some experimental hops, and it contains grape must, dragon fruit, hibiscus, and guava. So I'll imagine that they must have added the hibiscus for color and the grape must and dragon fruit and guava for the kind of the color for that way, like it makes it kind of like actually look like rosé. And for the glass I'm using, it's not a wine glass, it's actually a McKellar glass. And I figured that I might use, since I'm drinking a rosé inspired beer, might as well use like a wine type beer glass. So let's check it out. And there's the color. And there we go. So as you can see, it's not entirely see-through, so it doesn't look like it might be a West Coast. It's very pink. I can see it against the light, but well, it's more like a reddish color. So I'd say that it's maybe like an unfiltered, because it doesn't look like a straight up hazy. I remember that when they first came out with this beer, it was called Super Collider, and it was back in October. But I guess they must have changed the name to Super Compiler to avoid um, just getting mistaken for other beers, because I know that there's other beers called Super Collider, and so they must have changed it for that reason. But when I had it back in October, it was actually more like a hazy, so it looked kind of like a hazy IPA, but with like a pinkish hue, and now it looks like a red, unfiltered IPA. But let's see the nose. So I get some grapes and some dragon fruit on the nose. It's kind of fruity. It does give it like a little like some like wine kind of smell, but I know that um, usually people don't like. There's people that don't drink beer. There's people that don't drink wine. I personally don't drink wine that much, but I do drink rosé when it's there, like when it's available, because it's pretty sweet. So this is like a merging of beer and rosé. So this might be a style for people to try out to see if they want to get into beer or wine maybe. And so, all right, let's try it out. Mm. Well, I was wrong on the flavor. The hibiscus is actually taking a lot. It's mostly you get a lot of hibiscus and grape must. So if you guys have ever had the Jamaica drink, the Mexican hibiscus drink, it kind of tastes a little similar to that. It's not straight up hibiscus. It's kind of like a mix of grape must and hibiscus. I don't think I get any guava out of this. This this beer was canned February 18th, so it's already been almost 3 months. So maybe that might be why there maybe the guava fell off, and like I think that mostly the hibiscus and the grape must are what's left. But it's pretty tasty. Yeah, it has a lot of grapes in there. It definitely has a little bit of like a vibe of wine, kind of like rosé. It's been a while since I've had rosé, since I don't drink wine pretty much at all. But from what I do remember, I think it does taste a little bit like it, except it's a bit lighter, and since it has carbonation, it's more crisp. So let's try to get all the rest in there. And I actually bought a 4-pack of these, and I remember that the last time that I opened one, it was actually more see-through. I was actually surprised to see that right now I can't see through the glass at all, through the beer. So I don't know if it started as a West Coast and it ended up being like looking a bit unfiltered, but like I said, originally it was in the picture, and when I went to go try it, it was like a completely like hazy style with like a pink hue, so it was like pretty much nothing like this. So they must have changed the recipe, and it ended up being like a West Coast rosé IPA instead of a hazy rosé IPA. But regardless, it's still pretty tasty. I do think I enjoyed it a bit better when it was hazy. It was like a thicker mouthfeel, kind of like pillowy, like usually what the hazy IPAs kind of give you. Just smoother overall. Um, Definitely has a strong grape taste. Um, I think this is the very first rosé IPA that I ever have. I don't think they're that popular, or they usually don't get brewed. But I really like the design though. Check it out. It's the title and the description. And this is a collaboration with Civil Society Brewing Company. I actually don't know where Civil Society is, but I think they're in the East Coast somewhere. But yeah, it's cool that they decided to do something completely different, because I don't think, besides this one, I don't think I've ever seen somebody brew uh, a rosé IPA. And I think this is the first time that I used this glass too. I got it back when Mikkeller had their Junius Brutus. It was like a barrel aged sour blonde, and they had to keep the glass steel, so I just ended up getting it because I thought it looked pretty cool. And since I have other glasses for sours, I usually just put this up there with my parents' glass wines, and actually they've used this glass before for wine, so it's definitely a glass more suitable for wine. But it's, you can never say no to using these glasses for beer, which is makes it look pretty fancy. But and so last week I picked up my Space Race bottles. They had a bunch of beers for the Star Wars beers, just because it was May the 4th. I had a whole flight. I enjoyed most of them. I had an Imperial Stout with blueberries, a West Coast IPA with, I don't know what it means, but it had San Diego Super Yeast. That's what it said on the description. And there was also a hazy coconut IPA, and those three were my favorite ones. And then I went to go see the Arctic Monkeys in LA, which were awesome. And it was at the Hollywood Cemetery, Hollywood Forever, and they let you bring in food, beer, and wine. So I took a couple of crawlers from Belching Beaver, and also after we went to Bottle Logic, we stopped by Green Cheek, and we got a crawler from there. And so my friend and I split the 3 crawlers between us. It was pretty fun. And then coming up this week, there's a North Park Festival of Arts, and I'll be volunteering inside the Waypoint Public Craft Beer Block. They have a beer fest. They have 2 sessions inside the Festival of Arts, and I'll be pouring at the first session. I don't know what brewery yet. I'll be posting that on my Instagram stories. So if you're attending that event, go look for me. And then I'll probably stick around because I have a friend that's playing there at 7. So I don't know if I'll just be walking around or checking out a brewery or two while I wait. So I'll be in that area, unless I might go out to McKellar because they have a beer release. So I might do that in the meantime, but we'll see. Yeah, this is a it's an interesting beer. I don't know if I could get used to it. It's definitely a, I would consider this an experiment, an experimental style. Um, I can see why they're not too popular. It's not the greatest combination. I think I would stick to regular West Coast or a hazy. I just bought the cans because when I tried it on tap, I really enjoyed it. But it's very different now. But I don't think I would buy another 4-pack. I'm fine with this one. And for the ranking, I think I would give this maybe a 4 out of 5. It's just I think the grape flavor is kind of too strong for me. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Just comment, subscribe, like, follow my Instagram, Have a Beer with Eric. Check out my Untapped. I'm always checking in every single beer that I do, so just follow me there. All right, see you guys next week. Cheers.